All right, testing, testing. Hello, YouTube. Happy Thursday. Let's see. We got a couple stuff to mention before we get started here. Hopefully, OBS has a fine connections. Will be good. So over the past 2 or so weeks, we were working on the Adagio for strings. Well, if you are new to the channel or if you missed it, we finished up that piece, I guess, on Tuesday and got that out on YouTube. So if you missed it, go check on my YouTube channel where you can find the recording of the Adagio for strings that we finished earlier this week. Super proud of that one. So be sure to go check it out if you haven't already. And of course, thank you to everyone who has listened to it already. I am super proud of that one. I think it turned out very well. Very good. Let's see. As always, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, like, comment, share with your friends, all the things. It really helps me out. I do appreciate it. Check out the links in the description below the live stream and in the description of all the YouTube videos that I put out. This beacons link specifically that will take you to a place where you can find all of the links of what I do. So all the streaming services, all the social media stuff, that can all be found at this link, which is in the description of this video. And you can keep up to date on all the music that we're writing here on stream. Now today's stream is going to be a little bit different than usual. We're not going to start something new today. Because I have stuff going on. I have a screening tomorrow and Saturday, and both of those screenings happen at our usual streaming time. So we're gonna take off tomorrow, and we might get a short stream in on Saturday. It just kind of depends on what LA traffic is gonna do, because I have to go downtown to Hollywood for a screening on Saturday, kind of mid-afternoon. So we might get a shorter stream in, but if not, then that's all right. So we're gonna do something a little different, just in case we have to take Friday and Saturday off of streaming. Definitely gonna have to not be able to stream tomorrow, so there will not be a stream tomorrow because I do have a screening happening at 3 o'clock tomorrow. So I'll be out for most of the afternoon, so I'll miss that, and then maybe miss one on Saturday. I don't know. But definitely we should be good for Monday. Yeah, we'll be good to definitely stream back on Monday. So if we do miss Saturday or Friday and Saturday, then we'll be back on Monday. We might get a short stream in on Saturday, like I said. We'll just play it by ear. So with all that being said, we're gonna jump into just kind of looking around, poking around some of my, not abandoned per se, but projects that I've put on the back burner that I never finished, got started. We might look at a couple here. And this is totally just off the cuff. I hardly remember these projects or how what was happening with them. So we'll take some time to refamiliarize ourselves with the project here, talk about what's going on, and we might be able to do some work on it and maybe get it to a complete state fairly quickly. As you can see, this one is already fairly worked out. There's already a lot of stuff going on in here. I think I was working on this one pretty close to when I ended up, excuse me, when I ended up moving out to LA. So obviously, when I was moving, this project got put on hold, and then we just get busy doing other kinds of projects. So we'll revisit this one. We'll listen through it, listen to what we have, and then we'll kind of talk about what's going on and see if we want to work this one towards a finish, or what have you, whatever we want to do with it. So just like with fragmentation frequency, this one is completely synth based, and a little, I know it's completely synth based, but we'll have to listen to it again just to refresh my mind on what's going on with this one, because I do not remember all the work I did on this one. Okay. I got a little tag here, something I stored at the end of the session. Interesting. All right. So, as I said, I had already previously worked on this project, obviously. And I think I was writing this um, out of inspiration from soundtracks such as I think it's a what is it? Astro Boy, Astrobot, the little PlayStation um, PlayStation thing, Astro's Playroom, and stuff like that, which unironically has really fantastic music. But it's a lot of this kind of synth pop electronic, um, very kind of lighthearted and feel good beats and stuff. So I think that's kind of where this one spawned. So it's actually fairly close to maybe being complete, right? So we might dig around in this a little bit and see if there's a if we want to continue doing this one on stream. So we have a lot of FM synths going on, playing different things, as well as subtractive synths here in the Tal Noisemaker. We have a good bit of instances of the Tal Noisemaker going on, which is all right. It's a great synthesizer. We even use it for some drum set stuff. Oh, that's an audio. That's a bounce in place. We got this this one drum kit here. We got a second drum kit. And then we got a whole bunch of more subtractive and FM synths going on, and a couple audio. Let's look at this. Fun little electric piano. So lots of synth stuff going on. We're beginning with this little bass pad here, and then we get this it's almost like a plucked synthesizer. Then a kind of very Blade Runner-esque melody line in this synth here. Get really low here and bring in another pedal sine wave. Bring in this oscillating smooth keys here. into this really interesting. This one has a lot of delay going on that lasts for quite a long time. Giving us that really kind of ping pong sound. It's quite nice. We have we have a lot of automation going on through here, including increasing the reverb and the drive. So that's how it kind of grows and builds over time like that. And this bass pad brings in the lead. Little drum fill. Sub bass going on here. Quiet it down and increase the tempo. It's actually, I think, pretty close to being a full thing. And there's certainly some areas that we can kind of shore up and fix around a little. Specifically, this section here's not quite how I would want it. And then there's a little bit over here that needs some fixing. So we can just kind of mess around with some of this stuff and see if we can make it a more complete piece. The first thing I noticed about this here, I believe it comes from an LFO. This one. Doesn't sound, it says it's synced to the 8th note, but it doesn't sound like it. That was not it. I'm trying to figure out what's giving it that pulsing rhythm. but that pulsing rhythm's a little bit out of time. Maybe it's not this. I don't think it is. Where is that pulsing coming from? It might just be a product of how the oscillators are interacting with each other. So maybe it's not something to really worry about. I wonder. No, I'm not gonna mess with it. Actually, I wonder how fast our attack on this is. What are we going to? G? That's weird. It's not an LFO. It's got to be something to do with how each of the oscillators are impacting each other. That's causing different chords, like a C chord, to pulse at a faster rhythm than this G chord. Right? So I don't really know why that's happening, but maybe that's all right. Now, this little moment here. I don't know how we feel about these octave drops here. more cymbal swells going on. Yeah, I don't know. Um, it certainly does feel weird to try and, get back into a piece like this after not listening to it for probably months now. So it certainly does feel a little strange to try and get in to try and write something along this vein because it's just been so long since I've worked on it. Um, yeah, so I don't know. We might switch gears and go to a different project that I've been working on. Was actually working on stream. We have a couple of them that I started on stream, but we had to put on the back burner just because it just wasn't jiving in the mind. So we can go and take a look at a couple of those. We can at least just open them up and take a look and see if we can if we want to get back into some of these projects. Of course, it's gonna take a little bit of time. I got the rainbow pinwheel of slowness. So, we'll just give it a second here, and hopefully it will. Now, this one I'm opening was acoustically based, so it's orchestral. So it will probably take a little bit longer to load up the session and everything, just because it's loading up orchestral samples always takes a bit of time. I usually always load up my sessions first thing in the morning so that they will be fully loaded by the time I sit down to work on them. So this still gonna have to wait for, like, for example, these cello shorts. This instrument is gonna be flashing like this for a bit until the instrument is completely ready. So it might take a while. But this was a kind of jazz focused, almost like a dark, moody jazz thing, like noir, that we had worked on like maybe a month ago or so. And it just wasn't sitting well. Just wasn't enjoying writing this one, honestly. So we kind of stepped away from it. But we can try and explore our way back into it. See what we got. I know there's stuff before this, but while those samples load, I figured we can jump into this piano sketch here. We have a C minor 7 chord, D minor 7, add 11, to E flat major 7, or I guess dominant 7, to B major. That's a strange choice. Back to C minor. Wait, hold on. I have two markers up here. I can't quite remember what all the motion was, but F sharp minor major 7 add 9. I remember talking about this. That was our kind of the James Bond chord, right? So we have our F sharp minor major 7 add 9, or so. That's probably a better voicing for it. F sharp major, or F sharp minor, major 7, add 9. And then we go to a G minor major 7, add 9. So the same thing, just up a step. G minor, major 7, add 9. And then D major, add 9. Resolving down. That's strange. And playing it now, I don't know why I did it like that. I don't really like that, to be honest. But you know, I don't know. Maybe we wrote it in such a way that it actually worked. Let's see if we can, if everything's ready to play here. And listen to it a little bit. I remember a brushed drum kits was something I don't have and something I really wanted here. So let's see if we want to. That's right. It's starting to come back to me. Vibraphone's not loaded up completely yet. Kind of remembering why I stepped away from this project. Yeah, I think there's some good stuff in here, but I do remember why I kind of disliked um, what was going on with this one. Like, I think if I remember correctly, we were working with a very specific. Yeah, here it is. Um, it kind of started out as something different. It was going to be more of a. Sorry, let's go to the piano sketch. Something along those lines. Um, it was going to be a lot more of an aggressive, um, action-oriented piece. Uh, right, it was going to be something entirely different. I don't remember when it warped into this kind of dark jazzy thing, but yeah, I remember that it did not entirely enjoy working on this one. I think it's got an interesting vibe to it. I don't think the sax solo is all that bad though. But yeah, it kind of felt like we were kind of trapping ourselves into into a corner that we couldn't really compose our way out of. So yeah, I do remember not necessarily enjoying this one. So we might leave this one on the back burner. There was one more I wanted to look at. Well, I have a ton of unfinished projects that we could dive into, but our most recent one that we stepped away from in order to work on the Adagio for strings was this piece that didn't have a name, but I just named it Dorian Mode Thing. I remember we were um, working on a Dorian mode kind of chord progression, doing almost like a fantasy Viking sort of vibe thing. Now I haven't looked at this one since we last worked on it, so we'll again give it a second to for Logic to figure out its life here, and then we'll dive in and see what we think about it. Any day now, Logic. Again, while this just takes forever to load, if you missed the piece we composed um, on stream earlier this week and last week, the Adagio for Strings, that is out on the YouTube channel, so you can go and listen to it just in its entirety on the YouTube channel. Go check that out. Make sure to like that video, share it with your friends, comment on it. Um, that helps out the YouTube algorithm and all that, and I do really appreciate it. It's been submitted to my distributor, so it will be getting out to Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music, all the other streaming services within the next few days or into next week. I don't have any control of that, but um, so that will be coming, and I do encourage everyone to go give it a listen. I did really enjoy writing it, and I think it turned out really great. So go give it a listen on the YouTube channel right now or on your preferred streaming service in the next week or so. Go check that out. I do really appreciate it. I also put out a short video on a YouTube short related to it, and we're currently sitting at 10 views, which is fine. Which is it's always a little strange. YouTube shorts, sometimes they'll get 1,000 views on a short, and then sometimes on a short that I want to get a bunch of views, I'll get 10 views. But I do really appreciate the 10 views, obviously. Um, but, probably not going to go viral anytime soon. That's okay. I never asked to be a content creator. I was just kind of forced into it by the way the music industry is nowadays, where everything is very short form content based. So, go check out the YouTube shorts that I've put out. Some have got 1,000 views, woohoo, and some have only a handful, which is fine. Okay, so what do we got going on here? This is the one we were working on before the Adagio for Strings. So this one might have had some good qualities to it. I cannot quite remember. Of course, we're going to have to wait for these samples to load up. But let's look at our piano sketch up here with our written out chord progression here. So we were thinking about this Dorian mode, which in C minor, you have your normal C minor scale. That's the C natural minor. You can have C harmonic minor if you raise the 7th scale degree. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This B flat becomes B natural. Oops. You can also have melodic minor, which is a lot more rare, and it's a little confusing to think about. But melodic minor has the minor third, and then you play a major scale after it, and then you switch into the natural minor on the way down. It's really weird. So it has its uses, but it's a little peculiar in that way that it's different going up than it is going down. But anyway, so we're working in the Dorian mode here. So in C minor, Dorian mode is just that natural minor scale with a raised 6th scale degree. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but raise the 6 up to a natural. So that in turn changes the quality of a lot of the chords that you build with the C minor scale. So you have our 1 chord here. Your 2 chord in C minor normally would be diminished, but here it's just D minor because we raised that A flat up to A, the 6th scale degree up to A. So that becomes D minor. Let's see. E is always major. And then you have the major 4 chord. Normally in C minor, you would have an F minor chord. You have a minor 4. But with the raised 6th scale degree, A flat becomes A natural. So you get F major. So you get major 4. And this kind of relationship between the major 4 chord and your minor 1 is very Dorian mode, and it's used a ton in kind of like fantasy world writing, kind of giving you that like magical quality. So it's a lovely chord to use. Going on, your 5 chord is minor, as always, in a minor scale. And then your 6th chord in your natural minor would be major with the A flats. But in Dorian mode, we get A diminished because this A flat is up to A, C, and E flat. Stacking minor thirds on top of each other. Diminished chord there. Major 7 chord. Back to your minor 1. If you want your minor chord to be a little brighter and you're using the Dorian mode, then you go between the 1 and the 4 chord a lot. If you want your Dorian mode to have this kind of bright quality, but you want to turn it into something a little bit darker, you can move up to the diminished 2 chord. Right, just park on there for a little bit. Because that's your diminished chord with the... Oh, wait, what am I saying? I'm dumb. That would be modal mixture using that, but you have D minor. My mistake. I'm thinking about things wrong. So we were kind of messing around a lot with that in this chord progression that we wrote. So we start off C minor, and then we go to F, that Dorian mode chord, back to C minor, and then our flat 7 chord, B flat, back to C minor, repeat that motion. And then here we go, something different, A flat major. So the flat 6, getting a little modal mixture back into the natural minor scale with the A flats. Right, so from F to A flat. Interesting sound there. And then B diminished. Ooh, what were we thinking there? Ooh. into our G dominant, back to our 1 chord, 4. Ooh, hold on. Neapolitan 6. What am I thinking? Where am I going with that? Like, ooh, jeez. So our Neapolitan 6 chord is based on the flat 2 scale degree. So in C minor, our second scale degree is D. If we flat that, it becomes D flat. And then we build a major chord on top of that. Right, so D flat, F, A flat. And then the Neapolitan 6, for whatever musician who's much smarter than me 200 years ago decided that it's generally always in first inversion. So we're going to put the F in the bass and then build the scale on top of that. So here's our Neapolitan 6 chord. So what were we thinking there? I have it unmuted, so it's probably easier than just having me play it. C minor, our 4 chord, flat 6, sharp 7 chord into our dominant 5, back to 1, to 4, Neapolitan 6. So here, as I said, that has F in the bass. And then your Neapolitan 6 chord always resolves back to your dominant chord. Ooh, and then we get a little modulation here from our G dominant. Add 9, not add 9. B flat 7, which is 5 of 5. Or, no, not 5 of 5. What does that say up there? It's 5 of 3, that's right. So we're in G dominant chord here. And then we go to a 5 of 3 secondary dominant, B flat 7. That way we can go, this dominant chord wants to lead us into E flat, which is the relative major key of C minor. Right, so that's very standard standard modulation. To get us into the relative major key. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so we got a lot going on here. Just in the chords themselves. I forget exactly what's going on in our strings. Let's see if we're ready to play here. Looks like we're generally loaded up, at least all the ones that are currently have music in the track. So let's see what this sounds like. I forget. And that's as far as we got, at least in the orchestration goes, which is not stellar itself. I kind of hate this solo violin sound. Just returning back to it, I don't, I don't think that solo violin sounds very good. What I immediately thought, if we're going to continue writing this piece, which we might switch to write something different. I don't know. We might start a completely new piece today. I don't know. I'm just here. I want to take this line and put it in. I don't know if piccolo would be right. I'm feeling more like a pan flute or tin whistle sort of sound. Something kind of like folk. Um, maybe we do that. Maybe we try and find some form of like pan, flute, tin, whistle, whatever. Something with a little more kind of worldly character to it. Let's see what I don't have any of these downloaded. These are just stock Logic sounds. Ay, ay, ay. Make me take time to install things and whatnot. There's also Native American flute on here, which this is a first for the stream. I have a Native American flute. And I've tried to learn all the notes on this thing, but it's actually quite difficult. I don't know if the mic is picking this up or if it's cutting it out, but this might be a good opportunity for us to, or for like this piece might be a good opportunity to use to break this thing out and use it in a piece. Not necessarily for its Native American heritage, but just the sound that it produces um, is, more the color that I was looking for. Um, that does mean I need to practice on this, of course. So we have this Celtic tin whistle that's just a stock Logic sound. Right, so it's just a synthesizer, essentially. which just sound to me, it just sounds so synthy that I don't know if I want to use something like this. There's just no character to it. It's just so synthy. It sounds like it's almost like the flute sound you would hear on a child's piano, like if there's a, or just whatever child music making instrument thing. Um, like my baby nephew has one, and there's like a flute option on it. It kind of sounds like this. So I don't know if I want to use that. But this is an option. Of course, it's not pitched perfectly um, to your A440 sort of standard tuning. So, right, you can do a lot of different sounds with it, but I don't necessarily think that it would be completely in tune with the music that we have. Now, of course, I could, pitch shift it and everything, but I would like to avoid that if possible. I would need to pull up a tuner. So I don't have perfect pitch, unfortunately. So I would need a tuner to figure out what note I'm playing. Like that's a very sharp D flat. It's basically a D. There we go. Just kind of lip it down a little. Using all my trumpet player knowledge on how to bend pitch um, while playing the instrument, right? So anyways, that's certainly an option that we can use. Another option is get rid of these. Um, I do need a good world music, world instrument library. It's something I don't have that I really should invest in. Um, can't remember if I have anything on Contact. I believe so. No. But I do have the East West Composer Cloud, which gives me access to a whole ton of world instruments. Though the Composer Cloud itself leaves a lot to be desired, and the way that it sounds. This is all drums. So if we navigate through here, we look at not a didgeridoo. What kind of flute is this? Cedar flute? Got a pan flute in here. I'm I'm kind of thinking like James Horner's score to, it's not Robin Hood, Braveheart. His score to Braveheart has. Um, I need to listen to it again, but and James Horner does this all the time. He has an interesting. It's not just a standard flute. I don't think it's got to be some sort of tin whistle or pan flute or something. I don't know, but not a Duke. Irish low whistle, maybe. Ney flute is that a Japanese? I think. Forget where the Ney flute is from. It's Egyptian. Stand corrected. I was thinking about the shakuhachi. I love the shakuhachi though. Great sound. Let's load up this Irish whistle. Now, as I said, East-West, the stuff on the Composer Cloud is not all that great. But, you know, it will do in a pinch. So I'm just... There's not a big range on this thing either. Right, there's very few round robins. So if you repeat a note, you're basically hearing the same sample triggered every single time. So if you have a lot of repeated notes, obviously you're going to hear that same sample over and over again, and you'll know, all right, it's the same sound. You'll know that it's a sampled instrument rather than it sounding realistic. Also, I don't believe the vibrato is controllable. Now, I know Irish Whistle does, and this is true of Braveheart, like I mentioned, that there's a lot of vibrato in the whistle flute sound, whatever it is. But a real human can still control the vibrato amount, so you'll have slower versus this fast vibrato, and you can obviously change that during the performance. But this does not have a control for that, so, you know, you just gotta kind of work with what we got. So I'll keep this Irish low whistle in, and I'll put it in with the flute group so it gets sent to the same reverb bus. But honestly, not too thrilled about it. I think maybe I should do a stream composing music with all the instruments that I do have, which is not a lot. But we do have some, including this. It's kind of dusty. It's been sitting down there for a while. This flute, whatchamacallit. It's like revolutionary time American colonies. Um, the name escapes me now, but this is another option. I cannot for the life of me get this one to actually make sound, so it might not be an option. Besides just blowing air through it, right? I played trumpet. I did not play flute, so yeah. So I can't figure this one out. That's nice to have, I suppose. Got this one from my grandmother, so it's just a bunch of wind. I don't know. Can't figure that one out. The other things, the other stuff we got down there. Um, I got two kalimbas. And I love my kalimba. This lovely thing. Great instrument. I don't know if the mic picks this up very well. Sorry. I'm gonna get a copyright strike. Name that tune in the comments if you can. You'll get a high five. Great instrument. Of course, it only plays in C. I don't have this in a different pitch, and I'm not about to go and try and tune them to a different pitch because I would ruin the instrument. Great little instrument. I love this thing. I got a couple maracas, some Chinese. I don't know if you can hear this. I don't know. I do have one of these. What are they called? Singing bowls. I think something like that. This thing is a lot of fun as well. Of course, it's only in a single pitch. So if we end up using this for something, it's kind of limited to the single pitch. Kind of got to do it down here so I can hold it steady. Come on. I don't know if you could hear that at all. I don't know if my mic is cutting that out at all, but it's kind of like a, what note is that? It was like a flat F. A really flat F, sharp E, whatever you want to call it. But this thing is cool too. Um, so, you know, it's we got things we could do. I'm trying to increase my collection of eclectic instruments and things, just because from a composer point of view, I think it's good to have those sorts of things. Well, there I was playing a D and not a D flat. So, um, it's a little difficult. Anyways, because I don't think so. There's an E flat. So if we're looking for the notes on um, C minor or C Doran, right? We're looking for C, at least the essential ones for this melody here. Or C, E flat, D, G, and F. So just these first five notes of the scale. So it's a struggle to figure out what combination of fingers because I'm not a clarinet player either, so I only use three fingers playing the trumpet, so I don't know all these things. I suppose if I got close, um, I could pitch bend them. If it's in within like a semitone or a half step, right? Then Melodyne's pitch shifter actually works quite well. Or, sampling it in contact. But if it's more than like a whole step, then the pitch shifting just kind of makes it sound a little funky. There's E flat. I've got my tuner here. My tuner on. Oh, there's an F that's pretty close to being in tune. Nice. I gotta write that down so I don't forget. Give me a second. Um, because I know I'm gonna forget if I don't write that down. Nice. So there's one of five. There's F sharp. That's pretty close to being in tune. I might as well write that one down as well. It's not diatonic to our purposes in this one, but I already forgot it. Hold on. There's G. Hold up. One, two, open, open. So close, close, open, open, close, close. This is the learning process here. It's how you learn things. Plus, this is just good for me for future reference. So. Now I need an E flat. There's a very, very sharp E flat. Um, if I cover this hole with half of my finger, there's E flat in tune. Let me write that down. So it's covered, 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 half, and covered. Interesting, interesting. So we have E flat. That's hard to get out cleanly though. Oh, now we're playing an E. Jeez. Oh, this is tough. Very, very tough to figure out. Because it also depends on um, your embouchure, which is the shape of your lips. Um, so feels like I'm back in middle school learning this stuff all over again. Like there's the E flat, but I changed my embouchure. Ah, I'm just messing around now. Okay, let's focus back up. Let's try and actually do something. So the thinking was, bah, bah. The water tastes weird now. Thinking was we're going to take this, put it in this Irish whistle. Oh, there we go. What register is in that? Is that? And the weird thing about East-West is that these are velocity based as well. I do like that more than the solo violin already, though. I think that's actually quite nice. I think there's definitely potential there. Um, we can definitely try and build upon this. It's a good start, I think. Pretty lackluster string writing, but that's all right. We just wrote an adagio for strings, so I'm not too worried about it. We might even get some violins in here. We gotta wait for it to load up, of course. When we come back, and we'll probably be back on this one either Saturday or Monday, again, depending on if I have time to stream on Saturday. Again, if you missed the beginning of the stream, there will be no stream tomorrow, and then maybe no stream on Saturday. I'm unsure because I have two screenings of films that I'm going to, both down in Hollywood, which is going to take the majority of the afternoon. So I don't know if I'll get the time to stream. Definitely no stream tomorrow, but we might be able to get one in on Saturday, a short one, and then for sure we'll get back into our regularly scheduled stuff on Monday. But with that said, we'll probably be back on this project on Monday for sure when we get back to normal. And so for then, I will hopefully have loaded up all the other instruments so we don't have to spend time waiting on things to load. So, anyways, let's see if we want to bring in our good violin friends in here. I want to do something that's kind of like a counter melody to our little tin whistle up here. flute, low whistle, Irish whistle. Shoot. Hold on. I clicked off of our violins. This is the range that our whistle is in, so I kind of want to avoid that, just to avoid any unnecessary muddiness. And one thing I didn't mention is that we're in 5/4. I do remember I wanted to do something a little different than what I usually do. It's just, standard 4/4. So, just playing around, seeing if we can find something that might work. Maybe something kind of like that. I don't know. Again, played with the Akai Mini in front of me, so all our velocities are extremely low. For a legato patch is something we don't often want. That is even connected. Hello? Now, at some point, the problem with 5/4 is that the added beat makes it so that it's a little more difficult to feel the pulse of the music, right? So it ends up giving us a lot of long notes, just held out long notes for that extra beat. So at some point, we're gonna need to find a way, like in percussion or some rhythmic string pattern, that helps firmly establish us in the 5/4 time signature. Right, just something, not necessarily that, but like Lord of the Rings has a lot of 5/4 in it, but I don't know the exact notes, but you get that percussive. we're gonna need something along those lines. I know we're at a slower tempo here than the Urukai theme from Lord of the Rings, but but I do generally like the way this has been set up so far, and where it might go after this. Because I know the just bringing in these kind of world instruments in the Dorian mode gives us, um, a lot of different colors to explore than our standard stuff. So, um, I guess it depends on where we want to go from here. But we might save that question for next week when we get back to a more regularly scheduled stream schedule. What I thought we might do is just end off with looking through a couple more of our long forgotten about projects, and some of these projects that I've stepped away from, like this one. I don't even know what's going on with this one. I haven't looked at in maybe a year or more. I don't know. Let's see what this one's got going on. I completely forget. We got a cinematic soft piano. We got our grand piano in here as well. Layering pianos here. A lot of reverb on that. And we got a bass. Along with a pedal tape orchestra synth. And the soft piano here, which is a great piano. I love this piano as well. I mess around a lot with this piano. If you go back and look at our Soothing Saturday stream from a while ago, I play with this piano a lot. So what do we got going on here? I don't even remember. Can't hardly hear it. Then what, we just repeat the same thing? I think this one was gonna be kind of in the same vein of like relaxing sleep music that I do occasionally. kind of in the same vein as Midday Moon, which is a piece that I wrote about a year ago. So little plug for that one if you haven't listened to that one yet. It's on all my streaming services as well as on YouTube, so you can go check that one out. I got a whole folder of other projects that are sitting on the back burner that I just started and then for whatever reason um, didn't finish, or I had an idea for something and I went and wrote it down and then never worked on it again. Stuff like that. I don't know. So we can take a look at some of these. This one's got quite a lot of stuff going on. I titled this one New Project Ethnic as just my way of identifying what was going on. We got a gamelan left and right. Interesting. Got Tibetan percussion. Not updating. It's quite nice, actually. I kind of like that. A little shaker here. Hong the percussion. This one's very active. Didgeridoo. No. Didgeridoo is fun. Pan flute, ocarina, dulcimer. A lot of this using east-west again. I don't know the Legend of Zelda thing. I'm sorry. I tried. The dulcimer. And then some standard strings going on. Let's listen to this and see what the heck is going on here. What? This is before I got BBC Pro. So this was a while ago. Goodness, okay. And this is on an old template. I've updated my template since this, so interesting. See what's going on here. Okay. There's some interesting sounds in that one. But it's a little strange. I think we'll look at one more, maybe. See what this one's got in store for us. Oh boy. This one's like completely fleshed out. Why did I abandon this one? I don't remember this one at all. Nothing's gonna load. It's gonna take forever for things to load, but what do we got going on here in the streams? Interesting. I think it's gonna take a little too long for all these to load up to really listen to it, but a lot of work went into this one. I don't know why I stopped working on this one. But you know, sometimes that happens. Sometimes you put in a ton of work on something, and then you eventually just decide that you don't like what you're writing. And obviously, if you're just doing this sort of free write stuff like I am, you know, just for my own pleasure, then you're not necessarily tied to it. And sometimes you just say, "Meh, I don't want to work on this one anymore." That's kind of what I did when switching over to the Adagio for strings. You just kind of wasn't feeling it, so go write something else. So I don't know, it happens. But we're gonna end the stream here. So once again, just to remind you, no stream tomorrow. I'll be busy most of the afternoon, and possibly no stream on Saturday. Maybe a short stream, but the best way to know if for sure if there's going to be a stream on Saturday is to follow me right here on Instagram. I'll post an update on if I am or am not streaming. That way you know if you wanna come out. But we'll be playing that by ear. But certainly there will be a stream on Monday, and we will jump back into one of these projects that we had put on the back burner. But we can maybe revive and get back working on that. So thank you everybody for coming out. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the video. Go check out Adagio for Strings, the piece that we composed on stream earlier this week and into last week. That video came out yesterday, day before yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Go check that out on YouTube on my channel. Give it a like, comment, share it with everybody. I do appreciate it. Be sure to subscribe, and as always, check the description for this link right here, where you can find all the streaming services and social media and all that, including the Adagio for Strings, which will be coming to your preferred streaming service very, very soon. So be on the lookout for that. And I will see you, if not Saturday, for sure on Monday. So, all right, take care, everybody. Goodbye.